Hello and welcome. I'm Mariana Trapnell, President and Chief Excel Geek here at Accelerations. And I'm so glad you stopped by today because we've got another quick tip for you to speed up your formatting options when you're working in Excel. So I'm just going to share my screen and we'll get going. All right, so here we are in Excel. And I've got some header text that I find I always end up formatting the same way. I'll end up basically formatting it red, I'll color it white for the text, I increase the size to 14, it's italic, and I always use Arial black for my headers. So you can see here I've got my header in my nice format. So a quick way of getting that same format into other cells is to use something called cell styles. And you can find that up here in the home ribbon. It's just called cell styles. And you might notice it sometimes because you'll actually see a couple of these styles appearing in the top of the screen. So what you can do is actually add your own style to the list. You do that by selecting the cell that has the style you're interested in, clicking cell styles, and going new cell style. So I'm going to call it my header. And the trick to this is only format the things that you really care about. So for instance, I didn't do any number formatting, so I'm going to unselect that. Likewise for the alignment, the border, and the protection. So the only things I changed were the font and the fill, right? So I'm just going to select those. And I'm going to hit OK. And now I'm just going to move my cursor and I'm going to select these cells here because that's another header I want to color the same way. And I'm going to go to Cell Styles. And there's my header right there, so I can select it. And instantly it's colored these guys the same way. So that makes it a really quick way of doing formatting that you use on a regular basis. Now, the trick to this is that it's only good in the workbook in which you've created the cell style. So for instance, if I come along and I'm working in another report and I want to do some text, I go to cell styles and it's missing. So what you have to do is actually merge the styles. So I've got my new workbook. I'm just going to go cell styles, merge, and I'm going to copy them from that other book I was just working in, book 1, and hit OK. So now, if I go to cell styles, there it is. Okay, so that's part of the puzzle. But the thing is, your workbook has to be open in order to merge the styles from it. So what we need to do is find somewhere to store that file so that it opens every time we open Excel in case we want to use those styles. So what you can do there is I'm just going to close this. And I'm going to go back to this and pretend this is my actual template file that I want to use to open every time and have my style available. So I'm just going to save it, and we will save it to, you can save it basically anywhere you want, but it's a good idea to save it in its own folder because I'm going to save it to my desktop, and I'm going to create a new folder called Excel. And then in there, I'm going to call this Excel template. And I'm going to save. Now the second piece to this is that then in Excel you go File, Options, and just go to the Advanced tab in here and scroll right to the very bottom. And just above the bottom, you'll find something called At Startup, Open All Files In. Okay, and in there, that's where you're going to want to put the folder name, which I forgot to copy. So you're going to go File. If you're in 2013 and 2016, this will work. Click on the file link, copy link to clipboard. So that's just on the Info tab when you click File, which is kind of handy as well if you're trying to send the link to someone else. But yeah, so you just click on it, copy link to clipboard, and then you can go into your options again, Advanced, all the way to the bottom. And I'm just going to paste it in here. And I'm going to get rid of the last bit where it says Excel %20 template. I don't need that. and I'm going to get rid of the first bit in front of the C. So I should just be left with C:users, my name, desktop, Excel, or whatever folder you put it in, and you hit OK. So now what will happen is each time you open Excel, that file will open too, including your cell styles, and then anytime you're working in another file, you just go cell styles, merge, that one, hit OK. And now if I type my header, there it is. So that's a quick way of dealing with cell styles, particularly when you're using the same format over and over again in your files. It's a really good way to just get it in quickly. Hopefully that helped you and you found it useful. If you did, I would love it if you could forward this email that you received with this link in it to friends that you think might be interested, and I'd love to get the word out and share this knowledge with everyone. And if you haven't already been receiving the emails, don't forget that you can go to accelerations.com and scroll to the bottom to sign up to receive these tips on an ongoing basis. So that's it for today, and I will see you next week. Thanks for stopping by.